Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Media Post, for having me here today. As she mentioned, I'm Kelly Burke. I'm the Associate Director of Brand Marketing and Strategy for Avocados from Mexico. I'm super excited to be here with you today and to tell you about the Avocados from Mexico story. But before I get started, let me debunk a couple of myths about avocados from Mexico. The first is that we're not from Mexico. And the second is that we don't actually sell avocados. So let me explain. We are a nonprofit marketing organization that is based out of Irving, Texas. And we were the joint partnership between the avocado exporters and importers. They came together under one of the USDA checkoff programs to form Avocados from Mexico, the company, with the sole purpose of, driving advertising, supporting promotions, and research for Avocados from Mexico, the fruit. Not confusing at all. So overall, we represent over 30,000 growers, 74 packers, and over 700 importers. And fun fact, in order to be part of the export program, you have to have an avocado orchard of at least 12 trees. So anyone in California, you can't be a part of it because it's Avocados from Mexico. All right, so in 2014, our organization formed the marketing team with two main objectives in mind. The first was to build brand equity for Avocados from Mexico, and the second was to drive demand of the entire avocado category. And within 3 years, our marketing efforts took off. So this is a quote from an Adweek article in 2017, and they stated, "As it turns out, Avocados from Mexico boasts one of the most dramatic and impressive rises to prominence in recent marketing history." So that was huge for a small brand like ours. So how did we do that? Well, it starts right here. Our journey to relevancy starts with football. We like to say that we are a small brand with a big Super Bowl story. And a lot of people would ask, why would a small avocado brand like ours spend most of its marketing budget on one of the most prominent marketing stages? Well, let me break it down for you. So imagine a stadium. Imagine a stadium filled with all of the avocados that were purchased right before Super Bowl, and that would actually fill the stadium 12 feet high. That's a whole lot of guacamole that's being eaten right before Super Bowl and during the game. So for us, it was that moment of truth. And actually, during the season of Super Bowl, Michoacan, Mexico, where our avocados are grown, is one of the only places that has 4 blooms of avocados. So during that time period, we have almost 100% market share. So regardless of whether or not we were advertising in the Super Bowl, our consumer was consuming our product. And so it was a huge branding opportunity for us, especially since we didn't have a traditional packaging like in CPG. So in 2015, we took a bet on the biggest marketing stage and, launched our first Super Bowl commercial. And it was the first time, our brand became a brand that was born in a brandless category, fresh produce. And between 2015 and 2022, we've delivered over 50 billion impressions. For us, it's not just about, the TV ad. The TV ad is actually the anchor, but it's really about this trifecta of the digital, TV, and PR impressions that we get from the entire Super Bowl effort. And the Super Bowl actually became our innovation playground. So whether it be AI or selfie technology or blockchain technology, we utilize the Super Bowl as a platform to really test and learn on all of these innovative technologies. And in 2021, Fast Company actually named us the #1 most innovative branding company in 2021 for catapulting humble produce into a covetable brand. So here's just an example of how we bring all the elements of modern marketing into a Super Bowl campaign.
Close your eyes. Imagine a perfect world that seals the bad out and keeps the good in. That's what we did here at Avocados from Mexico. Pretty unbelievable, right? We created Guac World. Through Guac World's digital platform, users were free to roam around 6 magnificent locations and 14 perfectly crafted experiences. From Avocado Land's photo enhancers to Tabasco Flavor Town's recipe creator. Our 100,000 brand ambassadors recruited new members to guacworld.com, causing our loyal following to grow exponentially. We also combined the selfie and the emoji for the first time ever with Picmojis. These and other traffic dividers resulted in over 46 million video views and 1.7 million page views. And while the Guac World movement was taking off, the moment of truth occurred during the big game. People inside the stadium had access to our Snapchat Geofilters, while we interacted with brands and users on social media in real time. Avocados from Mexico had the most shared logo on both Instagram and Twitter. Guac World was the most mentioned hashtag, and guac was the most used word across all big game conversation. We came out of the big game on top of the world. Avocados from Mexico was the #1 brand in Merkle's Digital Bowl report, saw an increase in purchase consideration for a second year in a row, gained 4.5 billion impressions, and claimed their crown as the most talked about brand of the game for the second year in a row. Even after the big game had ended, our following continued to grow.
I don't know if you realize this, you said avocados 10 times.
11 times, Coach.
In the end, the members of Guac World lived happily ever after, knowing that once again, a little green fruit took on the big brands and won.
Avocados from Mexico.
So not only have we increased brand preference from 20% to 60% over the past 7 years, but we also increased purchase consideration for 3 years in a row. And so after years of successfully really owning that Super Bowl digital conversation and playing with the big names like Doritos and Pepsi, we took a step back in 2021. We actually didn't run an ad in 2021, and we wanted to evaluate, what should we do next? So in 2022, we anchored back to our original objectives of building a brand and driving demand, and we came to 2022 Super Bowl with a brandformance mindset. And let me explain what that means. So it's not just about looking at the entire ecosystem as a branding tool, but it's also about driving performance marketing across that entire ecosystem as well. So let me break that down for you. So let's talk about branding first. So within this Super Bowl, we relaunched our brand positioning of Always Good. And Always Good is anchored in, the insight that avocados are always tasty, they're good for you, and then they're always around during those good times, like parties and celebrations. But not only that, whenever you add avocado to a dish, it makes it better. So it's this trifecta of always being good. And we utilize that for our ad.
This is officially the worst tailgate I've ever been to.
Look at those barbarians. Hate it when they come to town.
Well, tough, because we drove for 3 months in an ox cart with our kids to watch you get destroyed.
Yeah, we made great time.
I'm sorry, what are you doing?
Adding avocados from Mexico. Want some?
Let's kick this party up a notch.
They also taste great on salads.
Yeah, Caesar, we get it.
I love salads.
Avocados from Mexico.
Comes full circle with the Andy Richter quote. Keep in mind this QR code, we'll come back to that. So how did we do? Well, so we performed above Super Bowl norms when it came to brand ad appeal, ad memorability, likability linkage, brand memorability, and brand linkage. We actually almost broke the top 20 when it came to the USA Today ad meter. My mom does not know what the USA Today ad meter is, but when I told her we got an A from Northwestern, she was thrilled. So she, basically Northwestern evaluates all of the Super Bowl ads using their strategic framework called Ad Plan, and they rank all of the ads from A to F. We were with a company like Alexa and Doritos and Cheetos and even Lay's. And then another element of our branding is that we utilized influencer partnerships to release our jingle. So one of our most distinctive assets is the Avocados from Mexico. So we played that up and partnered with them to give away these custom vinyl records.
Yeah, a little good time treat. in my favorite shade of green. Yeah, I want something good for me. Don't wanna search too high and low. So someone tell me where to go. Somebody gotta let me know who really got what I'm craving so. Avocados from Mexico.
You know, people always ask me, hey, what's your favorite food? And that's a really good question, so let me break it down for you. I eat avocados for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm a sushi maniac and I'm a guacamole killer. Watch me throw 'em right in my smoothie bowl. Spread 'em right on my sourdough. Get all my cheese from Italy and my avocados from Mexico. Get my avocados from Mexico. Get my avocados from Mexico.
Yeah, I'm gonna see those dance moves later on after a few drinks. All right, so as an experiential tactic, one of the things that we did when we went through our brand refresh is we relaunched our signature color called Avocado Glow. So it is inspired by when you crack open an avocado, that yellowish green that's inside of the avocado. So we created a whole line of clothing and then partnered with influencers at this boutique in Soho called Funny Pretty Nice and launched this TikTok challenge at their boutique.
Look, it's all about
Avocados from Mexico.
All right, so let's talk about performance. So all of our media drove to our digital hub called the House of Goodness. We had over 1 million visits, and what we've learned throughout the years is that creating this immersive experience for consumers not only increases engagement, but it allows us to collect first-party data. So, this is just one of the rooms inside the House of Goodness, but you can see not only are we offering a rebate, we have some recipe ideas, and then also a sweepstakes that was tied to our shopper program. And our shopper program, was record-breaking. We sold 51% more bins than a year ago. And all of the point of sale had a QR code that drove back to the House of Goodness, so really closing the loop from an omni-channel perspective. And all of our ads, so that QR code at the end of our Super Bowl ad drove to a MikMak page. So we partnered with MikMak to make our ads shoppable, and then users were able to drive to whichever retailer was their preference. And the cool thing about that is that we were able to gain first-party data through LiveRamp and really understand not only what preferences and platforms our consumers had, but also a little bit more of that consumer segmentation and demographic data. And then the day of the game, we created over 100 social assets that all tied back to this hashtag always good conversation. So really amplifying the social buzz and the conversation that was happening online. And this paid off. I mean, we saw that throughout, the beginning of leading into Super Bowl week, we saw a lot of great buzz around Avocados from Mexico and our social campaign. And even Sprinkler said that we were one of the top 10 ads by brand, one of the top mentioned, ads by state. And then you can even see we're one of the top emojis that are used the day of Super Bowl. So altogether, our social impressions since 2016 total to about 26 billion impressions. In 2022, we had 4.8 billion social impressions alone. And from a PR earned media standpoint, we had 5.4 billion earned media impressions. But it's not just about impressions. Again, it's about driving demand as well. So over the past 7 years, we've actually doubled the volume of avocado imports from 1.2 to 2.4 billion pounds. And that is how a little avocado brand is paving the way for produce marketing and driving brandformance. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. Do we have any questions for Kelly? All right, well, of course I do. Just in terms of, I know you guys have been, the Super Bowl was big for you, and then you took a year off coming back. But still, each time you do, like, where does it start? I mean, are you beginning in terms of your mix? Are you starting 2 weeks pre? And like, talk about what goes into the mix and how maybe that changes up from what it is in the rest of the year.
Yeah, so a large part of our mix is the Super Bowl ad itself. But I think, we start planning at least 6 months in advance. We actually just finished 2023 planning. So we start really early on where we align in our objectives from a brand standpoint, and then also figure out what our media objectives are from that point onward. And then it's a matter of really fine-tuning and making sure that we're integrating, whatever technology or capability is going to bring out the plan in the most innovative way.
Well, and I know that tech is obviously a huge part of it, and you guys get so much engagement. How can you not with some of these posts? But what is your KPI? What are you really looking for in terms of measuring success for a campaign like this?
Yeah, absolutely. So our KPI is, impressions, because going back to our original objectives of driving brand equity and also driving demand. So for us, we utilize the Super Bowl mainly as a tool to drive that branding story.
Got it. Well, thank you so much, Kelly. That was awesome. Another round of
Thank
applause.
you.